welcome you all today and thank you for taking time out of your day to come out to the grand opening of the shelter. We're glad that it's finally complete. We want to make sure that we mention that our previous director, Mike Bryant, had a big part in working this project, and so did Michael Amberson, and neither one of us are employed with us anymore, but we want to thank them for their time and their effort in what they did and their part that they played in working to get this shelter in your community. We're going to take a few turns along the way here, and next I'm going to turn it over to Mayor Sherman Gay.
As my Army drill sergeant used to say, he had a 30-minute speech and he gave it to us in 5 minutes. He said, if you get it, good. If you don't, good. But anyway, we're glad all of you are here. This is really a big deal for safety, public safety. I want to thank the city employees, the team of people that work for the city who did a lot of work on this to help bring it to finish. Also the city council members who were big supporters to try to get this project. Jen Webbington of the City of Gadsden Parks and Rec, the center sits on Parks and Rec property. Mike Hilton with Public Works had a lot to do with filling the dirt in, site work, and coordinated all of that. And our city engineer, Heath Williams, he oversees the bid project and the process and the planning and all the meetings, and Jeremy Ward of the engineering department did multiple hours of research and follow-up to find out how we needed to get this. The Etowah County Management Association, or agency, Denise Cooey, Josh Tanner, David Elliott, Brianna Cole, and of course Deborah Gaither, the boss.
Thank
you. And the grant for the our portion of the grant project, the acquisition of carbon monoxide detectors and so much more for public education time to spend on working in this neighborhood. So we're glad to have this here. When you walk in, you're going to be amazed. It looks like it's plastic, but it's not. Trust me.
Okay. And Councilwoman Tolles now is going to have a few words and talk about safety in the community.
I think there's about 6 points, and everybody here, the first thing is to get to know your neighbor. Some of your neighbors you may know, but they're spread out, but you need to get to know your neighbor. Initiate a buddy system. Sometimes we think the person knows and they really don't know, so we need to initiate a buddy system. We need to educate our children, and I know in schools they tell them what they have to do as far as school, how they can protect themselves. But it's important at home for you to tell them where they need to go, the things that they need to do in order to be safe. And also, there's a training for a response team. I don't think the EMA does a training, and you can become a certified response team member. And the third thing is, not the third thing, but one of the things is to build a kit. People that travel a lot, in their car, they always maybe have blankets. They may even have a set of extra clothes, toothbrush, toothpaste. They have water. People that travel a lot, I keep all of that in my car, blanket. So what you need to do at home is to, and that's what they've done. I remember one time we did a tornado kit at school, but there in the paper just recently, there was things that you put in this kit. So get a kit. This shelter can stand a wind up to 250. But if a wind comes through here at 250, this is the only thing that'll be standing, and the rest of us will be somewhere in the wind. But anyway, those are the things just to be safe. Know your neighbor, get a buddy plan, and also we have four people. One is a set that will be responsible for the opening whenever there is a type of disaster. Mr. Chapman, Studevant, Lonnie and Sheila Jones, with Zach Dupree and Cynthia Madden. Those will be the contact people for this shelter.
Okay. Thank you. And Josh, if you will you share on Shelter Etowah?
Sure. It's slightly poetic that we're doing this on such a windy day, I would say. But I wanted to talk with you just briefly about Shelter Etowah. Shelter Etowah is a partnership between the Gadsden Etowah County Emergency Management Agency and other agencies, community centers within Etowah County that open up during times of inclement weather. Based on the last census data, 12% of Etowah County's population lives in manufactured homes. An additional 30% live in homes that would not be able to withstand an EF0 tornado, which would have winds of about 50 to 65 miles an hour. So shelters like these are so very, very important to the safety of the community. And so what we do as the Gadsden Etowah County Emergency Management Agency, we offer a couple of different options for Shelter Etowah. There are mobile apps for your smartphone. You can get it for your iPhone and your Android-based device. Just simply go to the Google Play Store or the iTunes Store to download those apps. They're both free, and they will display to let you know what shelters are open, whether they're closed, whether they allow pets, if they're handicap accessible. They'll let you even know the directions of the closest route to get there. You can also go to shelteretowah.com. Whenever the tornado watch is issued, as the Emergency Management Agency, we make contact with our shelter teams, let them know to go ahead and open up their shelters. And once they get to their shelter, turn the lights on, get the shelter up and going, they give us a call back at the Emergency Management Agency, and we're able to in turn update the website and both the apps in real time. So it's a wonderful, wonderful program. If you're not familiar with it, I encourage you to download it. If you don't want to download the app, just save a bookmark for that shelteretowah.com, and you can go there to get updates during inclement weather. Thank you.
And Denise is going to speak to you now about alert and notifications. Denise Cooey.
Thank you. Well, it's so nice to have this today, but when do you know when to go? How do you get your alert when there's severe weather? Used to, we all depended on outdoor warning sirens, and we still have those today, and they do serve a purpose if you're outdoors. But if it's during the night, you're asleep, or you're in the house watching television, you may not hear those sirens. So don't depend on the outdoor warning sirens. If you hear one when you're outside, go inside and turn on your radio, your television, find out what's going on. But have more than one method of getting that alert. The best method is to have a weather radio, and that would be great to put in your bedroom or in a central location in your house, because they're awful loud for those of you that have them. They will wake you up in the middle of the night. Some people get frustrated because they buy them, they take them home, they plug them in, and they don't realize that they're programmed for a lot of different areas that don't affect us. So they unplug them and stick them in a closet. We don't want you to do that. When you get your weather radio, or if you have one now and you're receiving more alerts than Etowah County, bring it down to EMA and we'll be happy to program it so that when you hear it, you know it's affecting you. With today's technology, we have so many applications for smartphones, and even my husband, his smartphone is a flip phone. I can't get him to get a smartphone, but he can still get notifications on his flip phone or our smartphones using Nixle.com. Nixle.com, you can go on the internet and you can sign up for all types of alerts, but that's where EMA puts the severe weather alerts out. You can also take your smartphone today and just open it up and text 888-777, and in the subject line put our zip code 35901, and you will automatically start receiving alerts. Your different television stations have their own applications for smartphones where you can get weather alerts. There's just an abundance of programs out there today that we can, get and rely on. But it's always good to have more than one means of getting an alert. So I hope that y'all will do that so that anytime, whether you're out shopping, whether you're in church, whether you're at home, wherever you are, you're able to get your alert, and now you have a place to come. That's fantastic. Thank you so much for being here today.
I will say one other thing. I'm not very technology good. I have a phone, and I can answer it, say yes, no, okay, and I should send it back. But get one of your kids or your grandkids or your great-grandkids, they know how to do it all, and you can get the directions from them, and you'll always have that phone with you.
That's true. That's true.
They know how to do it.
My grandchildren taught me a lot about it. Well, now, if the shelter team members will come up, Councilwoman Tones, Mayor, and let's do the ribbon cutting for the opening of the shelter. I'll grab a hold there. Oh, I'm standing on it. There you go. Come on in.
We don't get clocked on the back of the head, Mayor.
Nah, you don't take pictures of us. Smile, you don't
Okay.
take the camera.
Everybody.
Eric, you gonna tell us when to cut?
Can you guys scooch in just a little bit?
Okay.
That looks real good. All right. So we'll look right here, do like a fake
Look
check
straight
just
at the
one
camera,
time.
man.
All right, 1, 2, 3.
Children's.
All right, whenever you're ready, go ahead and cut it. Great.
There we go. Yay!
Good.
Now everybody come and visit in the shelter and ask any questions that you have.